Hey guys, what's going on? Dingo here with a little video for you. This video is just going to be about ranking the dwarves starting classes in Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. I'm just going over, which ones are... So this will be a simple ranking video of, where I place them, and then there'll be my suggestions on how to make them a bit better for everyone to enjoy. So to start them off, we will go with this one right here. So this is the basic scout, or the classic scout. So this is the Zukov scout, sorry. This one's A tier. I think it's A tier, and I'll give my reasoning why. So the dodge ability is, it's niche. Although it says 25% chance to dodge, it's a 1 in 4 chance, and it's chance, so it doesn't mean you're always going to get it. Sometimes you'll get hit 4 times in a row and you won't dodge once. Sometimes you get hit by the smallest enemy and dodge, then you take a fat ton of damage from a detonator and you won't even dodge. So this is why I kind of think it's a bit, that ability is a bit meh. What I do like about it though is the Zukov starting weapon. It is incredibly overpowered, like leveled up with cold bullets or battery bullets to make it, static, and the level 18 spiral mod. It easily outclasses almost every weapon, other than cryo grenade. That's pretty OP. Overall, though, it's a pretty solid build. I think it's good. It's just the chance to do it. I feel like there should be a barrier where if you take, over a certain number of damage, or your health drops to a certain point, then the chance to dodge is increased to like 40%. But overall, it's fairly balanced because there's a lot of red sugar around. When you level up, you get a bit of health back. It's pretty good. But yeah, it would just be nice if you get to a certain health point and the game's like, okay, we'll go from 25% to 30% maybe. Little boost for everyone. Moving on, we'll go to the classic scout. It's really bad. Like 10% move speed increase, and the deep core, which ain't too good. This is terrible. The reason why I really don't like this as well is the deep core only targets the closest enemy, meaning it has very poor kill potential early on, especially on the higher has missions. And it's like being burst is fine, but at the same time, this, although it is the starting class, this gives you no perks, no bonuses to run this at all. You get a 10% movement speed bonus, which is like, realistically, what is that? There's nothing, to be honest. 10% move speed and a weapon that only fires at the closest enemy. It's really bad. Yeah, to get a classic scout, I think to get around this would be to implement like barley bulb juice into this, where it's something like when you run, maybe it's like, look, you get 5% penalty to movement speed at starting off, which is like, but then it kind of builds up and decreases over time. So if you move for 10 seconds without stopping, you then go from negative 5% to 1% increase in speed. And then if you go for another 10 seconds of moving without stopping, you go from 1% increase to 10%, you know what I mean? And it maxes out at like 20%. So it's like, the ability is pretty niche. The weapon as well needs, the weapon's a bit odd. I'm not a huge fan of it just because, again, it is only targeting the closest enemy. So if you're getting swarmed and it's not doing enough damage, you're practically either dead or you're going to tank a lot of damage. So the weapon needs to get maybe a slight damage increase, maybe a faster fire rate, who would know? Moving on to the heavy gunner. Oh my goodness, one of the best in the game. The movement speed penalty is huge, but at the same time the reload speed and fire rate, weapon range and fire rate, or reload speed, is very nice. Especially starting off the Thunderhead heavy cannon, it is like one of the best weapons in the game. This can ragdoll and bully enemies. Even like the mini elite bosses that spawn at the end of the first 4 waves get pushed around by this. Bar the Praetorian, he's pretty tanky. The bullets penetrate, the bullets explode, it's quite nice. The negative 10% movement speed is pretty nasty. It gets worse when you stack on other negative movement speed like the ammo rig and whatnot. But overall, it's pretty solid. I mean, there is literally nothing wrong with this build. You could even make it maybe 15%, nah, that'd be way too much, but it's pretty good. At this point in time, the Thunderhead is awesome, and the actual bonuses you get for running this is brilliant. A lot of the better weapons in the game too are like heavy weapons as well, so they get an increased reload speed, like the Shard Diffractor, the Breach Cutter, the Sludge Pump, the Cryo Cannon, all are heavy weapons and they get reloaded a bit faster and extra range. It's pretty good. Moving on to Engineers. Yeah, this is quite bad. I don't know. I mean, it is D tier, to be fair. So Engineers LMG guns are LMG platform turret are monumentally broken. If you slap reload speed, fire rate, sorry, and damage onto this thing, and then when the level 18 mod slot gives you either more turrets or faster fire rate, choose the faster fire rate, and then your fire rate gets phenomenally better. Here's the problem: the actual bonus you get is so bad. The bonus that comes with this is just terrible. You get 10% increase in damage and 10% reload speed. That's like commons. So for this, you get a common for some reason. Similar to the scout thing, you just get a common movement speed. It is very strange. It doesn't really help anyway, because like later on in the missions, you're doing phenomenal damage, and the 10% to reload speed and damage, you don't really need it. It's like you're just dishing out so much damage. Like, I don't understand what they were thinking. Like, this needs to be changed, like, drastically. Like, this is supposed to help the turrets. Maybe give the turrets extra range. I'm not too sure. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't understand how this helps. Like, it's D tier. It should be D tier. However, the LNG gun turret boosts it up, but the actual bonus you get is D tier. Seriously, I only run this for the turret. That's literally it. Moving on, we'll do the Tinkerer build. It's A tier. This one's actually really nice. I'm not a fan of the Warthog shotgun. It's a bit odd. It can deal a lot of damage, but I feel like one of the mods you kind of have to choose. It makes the other redundant. Like, it makes the other. If you do choose a inferior level 18 mod, it just really makes your life harder, and it's just terrible. Other than that though, 10% increase in bonus XP gains, pretty nice, and all levels start at level 3. That's also pretty nice. It just means you're closer to being level 18 on every weapon you get, which is quite nice. Additionally, Engineer has a base 10% increase in XP gained as a bonus stat, so this actually makes it 20% increase in bonus stat running this build. Overall, pretty solid. I wouldn't touch it at all. I'd maybe make it 15%, maybe. What would be nice as well is, like, all weapons start at level 3. It'd be nice if you could choose at least one of those upgrades, because weapons start at level 3 with no upgrades. It's just level 3. It'd be nice if you could choose just one upgrade, like you get a weapon and it's like, just choose one. It'd be nice if you could choose 3. If you could choose whatever weapon you want, then instantly choose 3 different upgrades for it, it would easily be S tier without a doubt. But as of right now, you just get a weapon level 3 and that's kind of it. Moving on to one of the worst weapons builds in the game, Driller's Strong Arm. Oh my god, this is horrible. This is so strange. So you get the axe. The axe is pretty bad. It's not a weapon I would ever recommend running. If you are doing this challenge, do not upgrade the axe. Just even if you get like a level legendary axe upgrade in a common, choose the common. Do not go near this axe. Additionally, the bonus you get, 20% increase in weapon range. That's not it. It's not it. There's another throwable build in this game that works way better. This was the hardest challenge in my opinion, because it just did not work for me. This needs to be changed. Like, the starting weapon is fine. It has good risk, good reward. It's not worth upgrading, but the bonus we get needs to be adjusted. Again, this is like solely meant to be a throwable build, so I think a few more things need to be given to the players to make it more valuable. Maybe pinch some of these things and chuck them up there and change that. Maybe I'm not too sure, but as of right now, it's terrible. Like, if you are doing this challenge, may God help you. I'll do a video on how to actually run with it, but yeah, it's just terrible at the moment. This needs a full rework. Like, I don't care if they change the starting weapon. I don't care what they do, but like, this bonus needs to go. Like, something else needs to be here. Moving on to the best thrower build in the game, for some reason it's the Demolitionist Engineer. Now, you start with the PGL, Personal Grenade Launcher, and you get a 20% increase to explosive radius and 20% increase to reload speed. That sounds awesome. Did you know, like, almost all the throwables have explosives in them? Meaning any throwable for explosives benefits from this. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, you run this build, disregard the PGL, you upgrade it if you want, smack like Cryo Grenade, Plasma Burster, in Firebomb, Shredders, whatever, anything you want, anything that has like a explosives in it, and they get this buff. And like the Cryo Grenade, already insane, get an additional explosive radius and base faster reload speed. Absolutely insane. This is beautiful. I feel like this needs to become that. Like, take this, chuck it in that. You know, the Driller's strong arm, because this is the throwable build, but like it's just not. It's so bad. Moving on to the Juggernaut. It's a bit weird. I personally do not like this one, but I have to give credit where credit is due. It is a solid build. I think it, you know, the weapon range is not too shabby. I just don't like the fact that on higher hazards and higher levels, the bonus damage doesn't do anything. So what it is it's 10% increase to your damage for like 10 seconds every time you take damage, and it stacks 5 times, meaning if you get hit 5 times, you do 50% more damage. On higher haz missions, like, although it's 50% more damage, it's not really worth it. Like, it doesn't do a lot, depending on your weapon. I think, you know, rework that maybe, because it's all about being a Juggernaut, right? You know, taking as, you know, damage, you're not really feeling it. I feel like there should be more like, the more damage you take, the more resistant you get, to the point where like you go from like 20 damage to 15 to 13 to 10 to 9, and you just like kind of run through everything. Keep the you know, keep the range in there. Maybe give all weapons a 10% reload speed, but I feel like instead of a damage increase, you should be like, you know, Juggernaut, taking damage but not feeling it. It's like the more damage you take, you get tokens, which then decrease your damage. Like, decrease the damage you take, sorry. It's very strange at the moment. It's weird. It's niche, you know, it's a bit weird. There's a challenge for it, it's a bit painful, but choose the right weapons and you'll be right. Moving on to 4-man Driller. It's A tier. Mainly for the bonus you get. The starting weapon's not too bad. I do like how it shoots behind you. I wish there were more weapons that did that, because it's the only one that shoots behind you at the moment. You can get some mods that do that, but this weapon solely shoots behind you. It will not shoot forwards. It's very interesting, because this kind of, you know, forces you to mine, and the ability you get, or the bonus you get, is a 2% increase to mining that stacks 25 times, I believe. It is insanely good. You can shred through hollow bow, shred through morkite, shred through you know, all the minerals, shred through gold and nitro instantly, shred through walls, loot bugs. It's pretty good. It's a bit niche, you know, like I don't use this build. I have used it before. I do like it. It's very nice. The mining speed is, you know, brilliant. Yeah, I think just the weapon, honestly. I like the Subata, but I just don't know what else. Like, as of right now, it's pretty solid. Like, I don't think there's anything we can do right now to make it better. It's pretty darn good. Moving on to the Interrogator Driller. It's one of my favorite builds in the game, honestly. It's not really S tier, is it? Yeah, it's more A, B. It's more B tier, to be fair. Like, I love it. I'm a bit biased. I want to put it S tier, but realistically, it's not. One huge downfall: every weapon, the moment you get it, has a negative 30 damage. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think it should be more elemental things. So this is all about taking damage over time. So I feel like weapons that deal damage over time, or dots, should then have their damage decreased. Like if you get the M1000 or the Thunderhead or anything that doesn't do any elemental damage or damage over time effect, I feel like that should be chill. Like, you know, that should be fine. Leave it, don't touch it. But then the moment you get fire bullets on it, well, then it gets, you know, a 30% damage decrease, or anything that, you know, damages over time, like the acid, possibly even, I know electricity doesn't do damage over time. I know cold doesn't do damage over time, but still it's an effect. That's when it gets into effect. But as of right now, any weapon, negative 30% damage, you know, nerf, which is very strange. The 100% damage effect, so when enemies are on fire or they've got the acid effect, they deal 100% more damage. I feel like it's nice, but not enough, because if you do run this build, you're more likely going to spec into more beams, meaning enemies like not going to be out of the beam sight, so you're always going to be hitting them, meaning they'll be out for a second and instantly back in, meaning you don't get that damage there. I feel like this should be increased a fair bit to maybe, you know, 150%, 175%, maybe make it ramp up, so the higher hazard and the higher the mission you go, the more health an enemy's got, and it should ramp up. So if an enemy's on fire or frozen or an acid pool and they're getting that damage over time effect for longer, you know, like longer than 2 or 3 seconds, then the damage should go from 100% to 110, you know what I mean, like kind of ramp up to make it better. Because as of right now, like once you get to the higher has and higher level missions, it's like it doesn't do anything. Like, you kind of have to use the weapon to like kill them, which is very unfortunate. I feel like it'd be good if all weapons were unnerfed and they had the 30% damage increase, but then the moment they got a damage over time effect or any effect at all, like any weapon effect, plasma, electricity, acid, fire, cold, anything like that, that's when they get the nerf. And then the longer an enemy's on fire or affected by a damage over time or dot, then the increase the status effect does over time. I think that's it. You know, make it more worth it, because as of right now, I only use it for the crisper and that's it. Like I don't really use, you know, I use more beams mainly. I try not to, but like, you know, I get to a point where I have to because I can't deal enough damage. That's my rant. Sorry. So that's BT. I want to put it S tier because I love the build, but yeah, it's just not it. Moving on to the specialist weapon, easy S tier. This goes nuts. So this is a projectile based thing. So if you choose any weapon that is a projectile based weapon, like the Zukov, like the Warthog, like the Subata, like the this one Bulldog here, like the LMG Tyrant, that contributes to this thing, meaning every 100 bullets, 8 strong projectiles come out. If you can stack up fire rate and everything, you'll have these shooting out all the time. Easy S tier. Like these might not be the strongest, but like if you can have them blowing out all the time, how good is that? Seriously. It's very strange how good it is, because once you start getting huge like weapons that do massive, even if they don't do a lot of damage, they can fire real fast. You'll have no idea how many times this can actually trigger. Like, it's so good. And finally, Scout's Sharpshooter. Again, this is an S tier, but it's S tier. Listen, I'm biased. I don't like chance-based things. They really upset me because, you know, I don't have good luck. So whenever it comes down to the bottom line, or it's like you need good luck to do this, I'm like, oh, you know, I'll just leave then. Although so far it's been very nice to me. So far this build usually always procs. The overkill damage, you know, it's just when you get a huge critical, it blows up. It's very nice. And the M1000 is a solid build. It's got 2 awesome level 18 overclocks that, you know, have a purpose. Overall, it's a solid build. So just to round it out for you guys, in D tier we've got the classic Scout and the strong arm driller. So I'd highly recommend just avoiding these builds. Use it for experience, see what they do, and don't use it again. In C tier we've got the maintenance worker. Sorry, I shouldn't have said don't use it again. Use these builds if you like and whatnot. Please experiment with them. C tier is the maintenance worker. Only reason it's here is because the bonus doesn't do anything realistically. This isn't a bad build, it's just the bonus is not good. That's why it's, you know, C tier. B is the Juggernaut and the Interrogator. So Juggernaut for gunner, Interrogator for driller. They're not bad, you know, they need a bit of love. These need to be reworked. I think this one needs increased stats. This one just needs a change. Both of these need to just disappear. There's some other effects. Make them better. Add some tokens onto them. In A tier, we've got the Recon Scout, the Tinkerer Engineer, and the 4-man Driller. All solid builds. I would recommend not touching them. I would recommend the devs, not the player for them. These are pretty good at the moment. Feel free to use these guys. These are actually really reliable, fun to use. And then in S tier, we've got the Heavy Gunner, Demolitionist Engineer, Weapon Specialist Gunner, and Sharpshooter Scout. All of these are beautiful. If you run these and the right builds, you can usually get away scot-free. Even the wrong build, these all work well. Again, this is my opinion. Feel free to tell me where I went wrong, or what you don't like, or what you do like. Again, I hope a few of these get changed. I'll be going over a video on how to do a few of the artifacts. So I've done a tier list of the artifacts. I'd like to now do a video on how to actually get the artifacts now. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Tell me what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want. I don't know, I'll start doing that, see what happens. Yeah, that's my opinion. It's a long video, but I thought I'd give my opinions and see what you guys think. Anyway, that's Dingo out. I'll see you guys around.